Can you guess the most misunderstood fish in the aquarium hobby? Undoubtedly, it is the Siamese fighting fish. No other fish gets as much discussion about whether it can live in groups or whether it must be kept all by itself on its own, because they're killers. Hi everyone, Colin here. Welcome back to another aquarium video. Today's video is about the controversy that is surrounding Betta fish and how they should be kept. And if you Google bettas, you should not have more than one male betta in a tank, according to the internet. Well, the fact is that there's multiple fish that can live together and do live together, and that includes bettas. It's the size of the tank that determines how many fish can live there. Now, if your tank is very, very small, absolutely only one male betta should be in a small tank. But if that tank's enormous, it can have a great many number of fish living in that tank quite happily. If it's a medium-sized tank, certainly more than one is not a problem. So whereas big fish need to have bigger tanks, and aggressive fish are most often kept in bigger tanks, if you want to keep more than one male betta in an aquarium, you need to have a bigger tank. And of course, it's the size of the tank that determines how many fish live in that tank. So with a very small tank, one male betta defends around a 2-foot territory, and only tanks that are bigger than a 2-foot size can house more than one male betta. In their native habitat, they live scattered right throughout the waterways in great numbers. Bettas are not born to live in jars. Dense vegetation really is the key to having a group of bettas. Having so many plants in an aquarium means that there's very little line of sight, and that fish can very easily move around and not be seen by other bettas in a larger tank. If the tank is small, one male betta. If the tank is larger, you can have a number of fish living in a community where they have plenty of space to get away from each other if they need to. And here we go with a story about one particular pair of bettas in a medium-sized tank, a 3-foot tank, and these two bettas, one male and one female, they started a family in this aquarium, a community tank full of lots of different creatures, other fish and shrimp. And this 4-part series will explain how the bettas get along. But funnily enough, I had some flags. I had some people have my videos removed, and under appeal I got one of the videos come back, and that's this video here. Hi everyone, Colin here, and welcome back. In today's aquarium video, we're looking at my male betta, who has been living in this aquarium for the last 1.5 years. And we now have another male betta living in this tank. Now, as most people know, Siamese fighting fish, the males will fight. And yet the original male has had babies, and those babies grow up. And this male, now 4 months old, is still living in the tank with his father. Now, the father male betta has the run of the tank, and the little male that's grown up, he hangs around the outside edges of the tank, but they do not fight, and at this stage they're still living together very happily, although the son always lets dad have full control. But the father male betta is definitely not hunting or chasing his son. So this young male betta can move around the tank quite freely. He's not being harassed, and as long as he keeps away from dad when dad comes along, there is no fighting at all. The older dominant fish knows the younger fish is there, but he does not seek him out and look to chase him. Now, I'm not sure how long this piece will last, but so far they are making it work. The tank is a 3-foot tank, 135 litres, and it's heavily planted, so they've got plenty of space to stay clear of each other. And so far it's working well. Now, I am keeping an eye on the two of them, in particular looking at their fins to see if there's any damage, but as of right now they're doing quite well, quite happily living in the same tank. So I'm not sure how long it'll last. I am watching it daily. Now, this is actually the sister, and you'll see that if anything, she's the one who gets bossed around more than the little male. A bit of brotherly love. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Click here for more videos, and we'll see you on the next one. And in the next video, I talked about how long those fish might live together. And that video was up for a number of months until again it got flagged. Now this time, incredibly, YouTube denied the appeal, saying that this is a very violent video. It is showing animal abuse, which is really incredible because this is about fighting fish that are not fighting. So how on earth the YouTube computer system can work out that they're fighting is beyond me. But here it is. Hi everyone, Colin here, and welcome back to another aquarium video. I wanted today to talk more about the two male bettas living in this community tank and give you a bit of background as to why that is the case and what will be happening in the future as we go forward. So this male betta has been here a long time. He's been 1.5 years living in this tank, and he is the boss of the tank, has the run of the tank, and is really enjoying his life in this community aquarium with other fish. Now, it was a bit of a miracle that he and his partner had bubble nests, and I didn't have time to really put in the work to raise a whole batch of betta young, so I didn't do anything about the nests at all. I left them alone, and I assumed that all the eggs would be eaten and nothing would happen. But by some miracle, there were these two little fish that just appeared, and they just continued to grow in this aquarium. Now, small fish, when they hatch from eggs, are always programmed to swim away from every single large thing that comes near them. So surprising how baby fish automatically know to just stay away from any threat, and they're surprisingly good at keeping a good distance from danger. So given time, there's usually always baby fish that will pick away at little bits of food here and there and grow and get bigger, and before you know it, they are part of the aquarium. So these two little miracle baby betta fish, all on their own, just found their own food, grew bigger, and now they're part of this community aquarium, which still has a dominant male who patrols the entire tank. And this male clearly is the boss, and he will defend his territory against other betta males who try to push him out of his territory. Now, as long as he's not being threatened and he's not being challenged, he just continues to patrol his tank and, I guess, look for threats, look for challenges, and he defends his territory if required. So while the baby betta fish are very small, they want to run away, and there's never any conflict. The adult male betta does not chase baby betta fish, so there's really no conflict, there's no aggression, there's no fighting between a large adult betta and these much smaller betta fry. So as you can see, they will just continue to live side by side, do their thing, and when the larger fish comes along, the smaller fish swim away. So there's never any fighting. So in the early stages, that's exactly how you can have multiple bettas living together with a dominant adult and with young betta fish, which they will just live quite happily together and work things out continuously, where the smaller fish just stay out of the big fish's way. But as the small fish grow larger, that's sort of where I am now. These pictures you're looking at are from about 2 months ago, and in the 2 months since this footage was filmed, these two little fish have doubled in size and become semi-adult. So as you look at them in the footage about to come up in a minute, you will see the size that these two fish are pretty much right now. And that is, we've got a very obvious male who's looking really quite spectacular. He's probably 3/4 the size of his father, who still runs the tank, and this sub-adult male, he is just staying clear of Dad, generally staying around the outside of the tank, but Dad doesn't chase him, he doesn't chase Dad, and things are still quite happy and friendly. And the smaller female gets chased by everybody whenever they go near to her. So I will be rehoming this second male betta. I won't continue to keep them together forever, but for a while they definitely can live together. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hi everyone, Colin here, and welcome back to another aquarium video. Today we're looking at a fish that's often kept all alone, and one of my favourite fish, it's the Betta splendens, or Siamese fighting fish. These fish you have to keep alone. Well, not necessarily. They are highly territorial, and in that way they're very similar to cichlids, and like all small cichlids, they can be kept with other fish, and of course males and females can be kept together as well. And if you do that, they may spawn. So Siamese fighting fish, if they in fact do spawn for you, you are going to end up with more Siamese fighting fish. And that means you're going to have to work out where to keep the rest of those extra fish. Now, when fish spawn, not always all the eggs hatch, and not always all the fish survive, especially in community aquariums where other hungry fish are waiting. But now I've got 3 male Siamese fighting fish in this 35-gallon tank. Didn't mean to, but it turns out that I had a breeding pair, they had babies, and without trying to have any of those babies raised up, I got 2 that just happened to survive all by themselves, and they're both male. So I now have 3 males living in this tank, but with enough space. The fact is that they will live together without fighting. They simply give each other room not to get in each other's way. So rather than hunt and fight, they actually just keep a respectful distance. But one of the males will always be dominant, and he will have the complete run of wherever he wants to go. Now in the same tank, I actually also had some bettas in a community group of multiple betta fish. These are the Betta imbellus, also known as the peaceful betta. And these fish regularly are kept in family groups or communal groups, and they really get on very, very well, just like small cichlids. And quite simply, they work out amongst themselves who is the boss, and they create a an order of dominance, a pecking order, and everyone knows their place within that order, and they simply just give way and make room and live together quite happily. So Betta species, both Betta splendens and Betta embellus, just need to get enough space. And given enough space, and also in the case of plants, lots of barriers which mean they can't always see each other. So they're not always wanting to flex their muscles and push each other around. With enough space and enough plants, they really, in the right conditions, are just really happy getting along and enjoying themselves. So bettas can live together in groups, given the right conditions and given enough space. They don't need to always be in a little jar all by themselves. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and click here for more videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Hi everyone, Colin here, and welcome back to another aquarium video. Today we're looking at Betta splendens, the Siamese fighting fish, and how this particular family of fighting fish, which have grown up in this tank together, father and two of his offspring, and those young fish have both turned out to be males. So this interesting family of bettas, which has grown up together in this tank, have shown behaviours where they just don't want to fight each other. Obviously when they're young, the young fish have no interest in territorial disputes, but as these young fish have grown larger, it'd be fair to expect that fighting fish would start to fight, especially if they're all males. But as they have grown up together, it's been very interesting to watch that these male fighting fish have never shown any interest in fighting each other at all. Now this is a larger tank, they do have plenty of space, and given territory and space, the fish work out a distance where they're comfortable with each other, and that clearly is what's happening here. These fish aren't stressed that their territory is being invaded because there's plenty of room, and at any time they can head off in a different direction and be all by themselves. So territory is certainly a question of space. But the original father is now getting very old. He's now continually resting up at the top of the tank in some of the floating plants, and he's very weak. Doesn't seem to have the strength to swim around anymore. But the young males, you'd think, would want to take that territory, but there are no signs of aggression. There's no signs that these young fish want to take the territory that their father has had all this time. It's a very busy tank, there's a lot of things going on, but the action with the Betta fish is all happening up at the surface. And this fish, the father, is now getting very tired, very weak. I have to feed them each day by hand. He doesn't seem to have the strength to move around much at all. And in this condition, again, for Siamese fighting fish with that reputation of being such aggressive creatures, these young males, which are in the prime of their life, they're showing no interest in fighting with this very weak and defenceless older fish. In fact, they seem to be very interested in what is happening and very concerned. And this young male has spent a lot of time very close to his father, just seeming to be there as company and watching. Not any aggression at all whatsoever, which is behaviour which is quite amazing to watch. This male, the older male, is completely defenceless. There is no way he can stop a young fish from taking his territory. But the young male is showing no interest in any fighting or exerting any domination over the older fish. He just stays close by and keeps an eye on the older fish. This is very unexpected behaviour between Siamese fighting fish males. I've never seen this sort of behaviour towards an old or sick fish by other fish. It's really quite incredible. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you've seen something which you didn't normally think you would have seen. And if you enjoy aquarium videos, why not subscribe? And we'll see you on another video coming up.